Go. So, a couple of days ago I got hands-on with the new Tudor Monarch. It's fair to say at the time of the release the reaction to this watch was not what you'd call warm. Its problem was it was guilty of a multitude of crimes. One, it was a little bit boring, and two, it wasn't a big block chronograph. But the snooze fest has been living with us for about a month, and I want to know, is this watch actually as bad as we all thought it was at the beginning, or is it secretly very, very good? A couple of days ago I got hands-on with it for the first time since release, and I'm hoping to answer that question for you today. Welcome to Walking with Watches. Let's break this down, shall we? The specs of this watch, the new Tudor Monarch, comes in at a case of 39mm with a thickness of 11.7. Integrated case, so the lug-to-lug doesn't really apply on this watch. The movement is the manufacturer caliber MT5662-2U, METAS certified, 65 hours of power reserve, small seconds at 6 o'clock, stainless steel, as mentioned, integrated bracelet, T-fit clasp, sapphire crystal, display case back with some nice gold inlay on the rotor. The dial itself is a California style of mixed Roman and Arabic numerals with a beautiful champagne coloured dial. Oh, do me a favour, will you? While we're here and talking, if you could just hit the like button, it would be a massive help, actually. And if you are enjoying it, maybe consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. But anyway, cheers. So the wearing experience of this watch is actually a little bit different in person to how it appeared in the press shots. Here it is, for example, on my 7-inch wrist. Now, interestingly, I found this watch did, thanks to the integrated bracelet, wear slightly smaller than 39mm would suggest. What struck me most about this watch when I saw it in person was just how much it reminded me of a Rolex bubble back with the small seconds. This one. The main standout feeling of this watch was how it trod the line so nicely between a dress watch and a dress style daily. Now, in some senses that's quite an achievement, but also it does have a criticism where you could say it's neither one nor the other. Does it have the robustness and the sort of brushing to deal with being an everyday style, daily? And does it have the refinement to be a dress watch? I will let you be the judge of that, but for me, I think it trod the line quite nicely. I think you could say, one conclusion would be, that this watch is not going to adorn the wrist of a person who does a huge amount of manual work. At least that much we could say. The bracelet was perfectly comfortable. It wasn't quite as thick and perhaps as weighty as you might expect from an oyster bracelet, and it didn't have the sort of smooth gluing itself to your wrist in the way that a Jubilee does, the way that it just moulds and meshes to your wrist. The truth is, it was somewhere in between the two. The dial design itself, as mentioned in the specs, is a California style design of Roman and Arabic numerals. It is much more handsome in person than it is in photographs. Now, this isn't going to be one of those dials you look at and go, oh my god, I can't believe it, in the way that some Grand Seikos have done in the past, but this is definitely a dial to experience before you just dismiss it. The champagne dial is very attractive, and the whole feel of it doesn't seem as disjointed in person as perhaps I was expecting, having seen it in photographs. The lightly domed crystal is actually quite nice to experience as well, but I do think again they've missed an opportunity with this. A more heavy doming would lean more into that sort of bubble-backy type vibe, and actually I think a slight distortion at certain angles would have actually increased the watch's charm. But nevertheless, the crystal itself is perfectly good, it's nice, it's handsome, they've done okay, but they should have just pushed that design a little bit further, for my money at least. The case polishing itself is deliberate and done reasonably well, and it lines up quite nicely with the polished centre links you have on the bracelet. However, again, it does push it into that territory of what is this watch? Is it a daily or is it a dress watch? For me, I'm not sure it's either. But nevertheless, in the experiencing the watch simply as it is, actually the polishing is quite well done. The clasp comes with a T-fit micro adjust, which again throws into question of what exactly do we see this watch being, or do I see this watch being? Do I see this as a dress watch or as a dressy daily? The T-fit clasp is certainly a functional addition. The micro adjust is superb. I don't think anyone really has a bad thing to say about the T-fitting micro adjusting clasp from Tudor. But then again, having a slightly larger clasp does detract from the dressiness slightly, but if they went for a smaller butterfly style clasp, we'd all be lamenting it for not having a functioning, or at least a very robust micro adjust. So in the war of the bracelets, which is a battle you can never really win, I don't think, then actually I think they've made the right decision. The micro adjust is perfectly good, it's functional. Personal preference, I think they've made the right decision. But again, it does lean it slightly more into that sporty, daily, dressy style of watch. Again, sporty, there's nothing sporty about it, but you know what I mean. Ultimately, they've gone for function ahead of class. And really, that's a trade-off that a lot of watch designers make. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. On balance, though, I think it's a good clasp. I think they've got it right. Right, let's move on to price, shall we? So, pricing. The new Tudor Monarch is coming in at £4,600, which, fair enough, is pushing some boundaries of where Tudor have previously operated. Although as an anniversary model and also as a new line from Tudor, there's no real frame of reference, so I suppose I have more of a free pass when it comes to pricing. Now, for the price, you are getting a Meta certified movement, a decent amount of fit and finish with some nice polishing, you're getting a new model line, and you're getting something from a brand who is really a sort of growing force within the industry. It's hard for me not to feel that even though Tudor have pushed their pricing in the last few years, that relative to the game that is Swiss watches, where everything just costs a fortune, that they're actually doing something shockingly unreasonable with the pricing here. Yes, fair enough, knocking on £5,000 is a lot of money for this watch. However, I think you can say there are other brands charging a heck of a lot more for actually slightly less. And in that frame of reference, I think the Tudor Monarch's pricing, look, would I have liked it more if it had been £1,000 cheaper? Well, maybe. But is it unreasonably priced? I don't think so. I think there are better examples of badly priced watches out there. Actually, maybe some of them being from Tudor, but that's another conversation for another video, I think. Now, of all of Tudor's non-divers, this would have to be my hot take from today. They have a couple of offerings, of course. They have the Royal, they have the Ranger, oh, and the 1926. I drew a blank there for a moment. Of all of their sort of non-divers, this is sort of slotting in with some of those. Now, admittedly, these watches are all doing different functions, aren't they? And they're actually offered at different prices, so it's not necessarily fair to compare them. However, I would say that as I'm not going to buy 4 or 5 different Tudors for different purposes, I would collect watches from all kinds of brands. If I was going to gravitate towards a non-dive watch style Tudor, I have to say, I think the Monarch would be the one. So, my final thoughts then. I had some time with the new Tudor Monarch. What did I really think? The watch is good. At first I thought it was boring, underwhelming, slightly missable. However, having experienced it, this watch gets a passing grade. If you want to go out and buy one of these, if you are thinking about buying them, if you're curious about them, then for what absolute little it is worth, it gets my seal of approval. If you ask me one question though, which is how would I make the new Tudor Monarch perfect, is I would have made it look like this. I'm just playing. It's a perfectly great watch. Go out and give it a go. It's good. Honestly, guys, thank you for watching. This has been Walking with Watches, although not today, obviously. You're the best. Take care. God bless. Peace out. Hopefully see you next time. And oh, on that subject, I did also, on this little watch exploring tour, discover something from Bremont, which I thought was actually quite tasty. We're going to cover that next week. So do feel free to like, subscribe, all that stuff. Really massive help. God bless. Cheers. You guys are the best. Peace out.